Hello everyone, I'm Mark Sain and welcome to Sain Investment Solutions. Please take a moment to pause this video and review the following disclaimer. Thank you for that. Welcome to week 47 of the Forex market review. Before we progress, I just want to point out this goatee I've got forming on my face. That's just to support Movember here in Australia. It's a good cause, so for all the people out there supporting Movember, got a bit of a mo going. I've also got a bit of a goatee. Just want to say thank you to everybody out there. Now, without any ado, let's jump straight to those charts. So last week, week 46, we were looking at a couple pairs coming up. That was the USO USD, the oil trade, and there was a pound USD trade as well. So we're going to take a look at that today, being week 47 of 2016, our Forex market review. We've had a good successful year this year in 2016, and some of my colleagues haven't had as a successful year. So just goes to show some rules work very well and some don't. So we do have to make sure we are very flexible with the markets. So at the moment, looking at the USO USD, we're looking at a possible bounce off this DSR support zone. So we saw a pushback high. It was about this green candle here we're looking at. Thought we might get some resistance around the daily 200 EMA line. Look for an entry for pushback higher to this first DSR zone and hopefully to the top up here. Jumping down to the 4-hour chart, what we like to see before we take any trade is our AO divergence. And it's a lower low in price when you want to buy with a higher AO. And we want clear divergence, and that's where it comes back above the zero line before it makes its higher low. So that gave us our confirmation there. We then jumped down for a 1-hour chart and look for a possible entry. We saw this first large AO here, which we identify as wave 3. When it comes back below the zero line, that's when we know we've hit the high of wave 3. In this case, it just did a little tiny pushback higher, but we would include all this move as wave 3. It came back to the 38.2% mark, bounced off the 1-hour 200 EMA line and started to push back higher. So the entry confirmation was roughly around here or here, and it depends if you had a tight stop loss, whether or not you want to just put a 100 pip stop loss, 150, or all the way down to here about 300. Definitely you would have made 1 for 2 if you had the 150 pip stop loss, even a 1 for 3 if you used a very tight stop loss, which some people like to do. I personally miss this trade, unfortunately. My rules is it's got to come back to the minimum of 38.2. I did see it push back lower, and I was hoping it was going to come and test the 50% mark, which it didn't. However, I should have jumped in when it broke through the 200 EMA line. But unfortunately, I missed this trade. But for anybody who does follow the rules, which clearly states minimum of 38.2, which you hit, then look for a pushback higher off the 200 EMA line, and you would have delivered 1 for 2 or at least 1 for 3 to this first DSR zone. So if I zoom back out, we can see it on the 4-hour chart. It's there, and then the next one is up here. So if you're still in the trade with a more conservative stop loss, then you would be making your 1 for 2 up there. It's just having a bit of a relief rally at the moment, but we're expecting to probably find some support around this 200 EMA line again and then push back higher. The other trade we're looking at is the pound USD short position. So we're looking at it hitting this DSR zone and pushing back lower to this support DSR zone down there. What we wanted to see was our higher high in price, which we've seen, and our lower AO. Clear AO divergence. It's just come just below the AO line there, and before it's given us our trigger. We drop down to the 1-hour chart. We want to see it step back lower. Now, some of you might have looked at the opportunity, see it break the 200 EMA, push back higher, and then break back down lower and get in. Having your stop maybe in there, having your stops around probably minimum of 100 to maybe even anywhere up to 250 pips. I personally wanted to see a good decent pullback, so this low here I never got to my 50% mark, which I wanted to see. So what I did is I drew all of this as wave 3. Saw it push back higher, took my short position there, and then it's run back down. Here you could have had a really tight stop loss of 50 pips, made your 1 for 2 already. But if you want to be more conservative, you might have 150 pip stop loss, looking at moving it to break even if it comes down to these lows here. And then you're pushing it down to this DSR zone there. So making your 1 for 2 and even down to here, making 1 for 3. So this trade is still in progression, and with some good retail sales news overnight in the US, way better than expected, we're seeing this push back lower. So everything's setting up for a stronger US dollar, and with the US shutting down for a couple of days in about 48 hours for Thanksgiving, then it's probably going to start to get quiet. So if we don't see any exits happening, you might be holding this trade next week. So trades coming up, we're going to look at 2 of them today in the stock markets, the Australian Stock Exchange and the US Stock Exchange. So here we currently have what could be a head and shoulders pattern. We could, on the daily chart here, could be the left shoulder. Then you have your head in the middle. And then on the right hand side, you have your right shoulder. So with that head and shoulder pattern, we really need to see this neckline down the bottom here break. So here it came down, retested it on the news that Donald Trump was going to become president, and then rallied back high again. So what we're expecting to find some resistance around coming up to this DSR zone. So what we want to do is drop down to the 4-hour chart, look for our AO divergence, which we currently have. So higher high in price, lower AO, clear AO because it's back below the 0 line. So what we want to see now on a 1-hour chart, we want to see it push back lower. Hopefully we'll see it push all the way down. Now it might not do one big solid move. You might see it come down and then, you know, maybe push back up a little bit, something like that. Then we want to see maybe a retest of that 200 EMA line before it pushes all the way back low again. So probably looking at risking maybe 86 pips, and you're going to try to make 300 pips. So you should be able to make easily a 1 to 3 risk to reward on this trade here. But obviously all depend on when it gives us our final confirmation. And that's on this 1-hour chart. We want to see a large AO to the downside. And when it comes back to the 0 line, then we use our Fibonacci retracement tool, go from the highs of wave 3 to the lows, and then look for that pullback to the minimum 38.2. And the other one we're looking at is the US 30, or in this case they're calling it WS 30 on my platform. So here we can see it's bounced quite a few times off this 200 daily EMA line, and now it's pushed back higher. But what we can notice here is we're starting to see an uptrending resistance line get approached. So it's starting to approach there. Dropping down the 4-hour chart, we see divergence with our higher high in price and our lower AO. Now if we were to zoom in here all the way in and we hover over this tool, it's showing very low numbers of something like 0.86, which is almost below the 0 line, but it's just not there. However, because of this uptrending daily support line, and it's pretty much almost on 0 or just below 0, I would class this as a 4-hour clear AO divergence, and I'll be looking for an opportunity on the 1-hour chart to be formed. So what we want to see again as the Australian Stock Exchange, want to see it push back to this 200 EMA line, maybe find some support off it, and then look at a push back all the way down here. Hopefully risking something like maybe 30 points and going for something like 130 points. So a good 1 to 4 risk to reward. You might not want to be that greedy. You might want to get out a bit earlier at the tops here, maybe get 1 to 2, but that's an example there. Would I take both of them? Probably not. I'd probably take either this one or the Australian Stock Exchange. For myself, I like the head and shoulders patterns. I like how it's fallen below the daily 200 EMA line a few more times. So really, on the US dollar, you'd probably want to see it close a few daily candles below here before it really showed a lot of weakness on the downside. So that's a couple trades we're looking at the moment. So thank you for that. That was week 47 of the Forex market review. We hope you enjoy these videos, and we do appreciate all your feedback, positive or negative. And if you have any questions, please let me know via our web link. And you can just go on the web page to the contacts tab, and then just scroll down after you get to the contacts tab and just fill in your name, email address, and the comment of what you would like to know about. Again, don't forget our free training courses that we have and our purchase training courses. So if you want additional information, a bit more than what I show you, some pattern recognition training, then these guys who are on this page are the best that I have seen. So go ahead, and if you want that DSR indicator showing you support and resistance areas, by all means just click on here and download it. Just remember, everything on this page is in US dollars. The free training page, these are all your free videos, and they're a good starting point of understanding things. The 2618 trade is a good trade to learn off. But hopefully with all these rules that I'm showing you in my videos and how simple it is, you're getting a good hang of things. And we appreciate all the effort that you put into it. And remember, if you stick to your rules, follow your trading plan, you will do well. We wish you all the best in your success. Take care. Bye-bye.